Hey everyone! So I've been chatting with Margaret and she's coming soon. She's getting Facebook up on her phone, and so I'm gonna wait here. That's fine if you're on some. Okay, so um, thanks for waiting, everyone. Yeah, hey. So thanks everyone for your patience. It's technology challenges, they happen. So once she is watching from her phone, I can then, yay, I can bring you on camera, Margaret. Hooray. Oh. Bring you on camera. It says it is adding her, and she should be here shortly. And I'm hopeful that I won't be like super close as like it was last time. It says it's adding you. It's taking its time. I'm so excited for y'all to get to chat with Margaret. And yeah, dead air time, super fun, right? Hopefully, if you are watching this, you can hit accept, the accept button. Getting people on live on their phone, sometimes challenging. Julie, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Thanks, Maddie. We had a couple other folks joining us. So sorry, it's taking time, but technology is what it is, right? We always have a little bit of challenge. Okay, so Margaret, if you're having a challenge, just go ahead and hop into the Facebook Messenger, see if we can get that from you. I'm envisioning that like she hits yes and then, oh yay, there she is. All right. Says it's adding you. Is it adding you truly? I have no idea. What the hell? Come on. All right. Margaret's here.
Oh
Finally.
my goodness.
Yes. Welcome, Margaret. Thanks so much for your patience.
Sorry, I thought I had to be on my computer.
No, I know. I wrote phone, but that's okay. It gets confusing. You are on your computer, on the Facebook application. I'm sorry, on your phone, on the Facebook application is the only way these work. So annoyingly, yeah, thanks, Facebook. If you could get on that, doing it on our computer would be so much nicer.
No.
But you're here. I'm excited. Margaret, welcome. And so I just wanted to, well, first of all, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to put up with annoying Facebook. And if you, I don't know if you, can you see more than my chin, y'all? I don't know, because last time it was like zoomed in my face. So I can see me, I'm really far away, so I'm trying to be far away, but hopefully you all can see that too. But yes, thank you so much, and thank you to Maddie for putting these together. And if it's helpful for you, you can put your phone a little, like, rested against something like a water bottle or something, so it's kind of jiggling around. It might just cause people to feel seasick, I don't know. But don't worry, we're getting all this together. That looks awesome. Yay, we can see you. Well, Margaret, I wanted to share your beautiful experiences, like coming into the Forgotten Athlete Success System, training together for a year, and then you left the country to do a huge magical adventure, which I think, those are my words, not your words, but I would love for you to just talk about your experience. So I just have a few questions to kind of get the conversation started. And first of all, if anybody's watching live, just go ahead and put a little emoji below so we can see you and say hi. But anyways, y'all, Margaret, like, what were you doing? What were you riding? What was happening with you before you joined us in the Forgotten Athlete Success System?
Well, I think I used to do, like when I started doing the AIDS life cycle, there was a plan. I had a trainer for strength who was a cyclist, and there was weekly rides, and I just did that. And then when I stopped doing those rides, I started doing some other long distance ones. So I kind of tried to pull it together myself. I have a tendency to think I can do everything on my own, but I couldn't. So I would read a lot and I'd write a lot. I don't think I did that much strength. I did a lot of core and a lot of stretching. But my most recent ride before of this, it was going to be my biggest climb ever. And I'd read somewhere that I should just climb a lot beforehand. So for about 3 months beforehand, I was climbing 10,000 feet a week. It's very time consuming. And it was successful, but not something I could continue. And then I was looking at doing this ride, not sure that I could do it at all. And there was so much about it I didn't know. I needed a plan.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't think that you were going to be my person, because I'm much older, and I always thought that, you were for people who were still racing and young, and, I'm not perimenopause, I'm way past all that. So I hesitated for a while, and then I just finally decided I'd dive in and do it, and I did. So
yeah, that's awesome. I know, it was fun. I was like, when you joined, I was so excited because you had these big goals. You had, and you were kind of the same type of rider that we're talking about with, like, you were kind of like beating your head, you were climbing a ton, but I remember you saying, like, I wasn't getting any faster, and in fact, I'm tired all the time. And then I think you were injured when you started too, right? Didn't you? You were coming off of an injury, right?
Yeah,
Anyways.
off an injury. Yeah.
So there was lots going on, and I was super excited that you joined, because you brought, not just, you were an amazing coachable athlete, but also you brought a lot to the community, right? You were showing up to everything, and also chatting, in off times, and just being really fun part of the group. So I appreciated all that you contribute, and still do, even though you're not in the group right now, but you're still involved. And then, so then, like, what about training with us kind of got you to take the next step, and in this big goal, like this big dream thing that you did?
Well, I hadn't quite committed to the goal when I signed up with you at first. But there's a ton of information. I couldn't believe how much information, and I'd been looking up stuff for eons, but you all have it in the same place, so that I could go and look and learn about this and learn about that and learn about the other thing. And I realized how little I knew about training.
Ooh, tell us a little more about that. So, like, what was it that you were looking at? Because I remember an email, you're like, you have so much stuff. And I was like, yeah, I do. But what's one or two things that stuck out to you?
Sleep. I really didn't take rest and sleep into consideration. I knew about stretching, and I knew that you were supposed to eat some protein after you worked out, but organizing rest days, and adding extra rest days when I needed, and not training perfectly, and therefore giving up and not doing anything for about 3 weeks, and then couldn't pull off some plan I'd made, and it wasn't perfect, then I wouldn't do anything for a while, and then I'd start again. So with your plan every week, I had to do something. And you kept telling me it didn't have to be perfect. Something was better than nothing. So I think I got consistency. Yeah. So that was new for me. I tend to be an all or nothing person, hence going all the way to Africa. But that was really good for me. And it was good preparation for Africa, because it's not all or nothing there. It's just, and having learned so much about how much rest I needed, and what I had to let go of in Africa, because, we had long days, day after day after day after day, and then maybe one day off. So I was acutely aware that I was not getting enough rest, and, trying to decide that perhaps I wouldn't ride all of this day, or, maybe not keep up with this group this day. It was helpful.
Oh, that's incredible. That's such a great, like, piece of information I wouldn't have thought of in terms of that. And when you got back, you were saying about having a treasure trove, essentially, of just tons of information that was directly relative to you, especially about rest and fueling, and that's just fantastic. So I keep telling folks, like, go back to your members only area and learn. And so I'm trying to continue to make sure people who are in the program remember to use that as a resource, but we tend to just do what we've always done, right? And so I love that you pointed out the all or nothing, and how we really worked on just try not to miss 2 days in a row. And sometimes it was 3 days in a row, right? You had a lot going on, right? None of us can just sit around and train, right? So,
Well, the
yeah.
other thing is that I didn't always understand everything I read at first.
Yeah.
So it's really helpful that it's there forever and you can keep going back. Like I listened to your thing the other day about fueling on the ride and that whole, this is how many calories I need every 30 minutes. And it's like, I knew I needed to eat the whole time, but I'd totally forgotten that I could figure out how much I needed to eat in every 30 minutes and have a little thing tell me, because frankly, I'm not doing that. I eat a lot, but not necessarily every 30 minutes. You know, I might not do anything for 2 or 3 hours and then feel hungry and then eat a lot and then not do anything else.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that the thing is that you can always keep doing something new,
I
learning
love that.
something.
So when you were in the program, and what's one or two things that stuck out in terms of what made you feel better, stronger, faster? Do you remember any of the particular days or trainings that stuck out to you?
This is in the 12-week program.
It doesn't matter, anytime that we were working together.
Well, I just remember early on thinking I was really fit until I sat down and started trying to do those workouts that you gave me and realizing how unfit I was because I'd not been really working towards what I needed for cycling. I had been doing lots of things, but like up my core was my stomach, it was not my whole body. I have much better posture on the bike. So I really didn't have any issues at all in Africa. Seriously, and I used to sink into my shoulders when I got tired. And I have pretty good endurance with my legs, but my upper body would just sink. And I did not do that.
That's amazing. Wait, can we stop and just settle in there? Because I feel like that is a huge point that I try to like illustrate for folks, that you don't necessarily, like, for us to go longer day after day after day, we really need to be stronger in our upper body, especially the shoulders, the neck, the core, right? And a lot of people come to me with like, oh, my shoulders hurt, my neck hurts, I can't keep going. And it's really about getting stronger to go longer so you can be comfortable in the saddle. And you're right here, a living, breathing human who like lived it. So that, love that. Exclamation point.
Yeah, actually, I didn't have any trouble with my neck, which is a sore point with me, until I got to a hotel room at the end and I had to sleep on a regular bed with a regular pillow. The rest of the time I was just fine.
That's amazing. Congratulations. I mean, that's a testament to all the hard work that you had put in as well. You know, it's not easy. It doesn't do itself. You have to do it.
That's right. You have to do it. So yeah, and knowing about rest, and as you know, I reached out to you after I got COVID, which threw a spanner in the works, really knowing by then that actually I did have to rest, because I did not come back from that really well until 3 or 4 weeks. And I think if I hadn't been working on rest at home, I wouldn't have done that. I would have, I don't know what I would have done, but it was really a hard moment. So I knew about rest.
That's great. And the fact that you were able to come back within 3 weeks to really be able to ride was like phenomenal, because so many people would have just given up, because it's really hard on your body, and the intellectual knowledge that you know you can go X amount of miles, but your body's not letting you do it. Most people would just give up.
Yeah, it was discouraging. I didn't get some of my climbs in, but yeah. I made it to the end.
Like, I went through COVID and I could barely ride for 3 weeks. So very much a testament to not just mind over matter, but knowing your body really well. So just wow, it's very much impressive. I love it. So what other, like, what happened on your trip? Like, what's 1 or 2 or 3, like, maybe highlights that you really, like, because you trained well, you were able to enjoy? Do you, if any? Hopefully there was a highlight.
Oh, you know, it's 9 countries, so it's kind of hard to just pick one.
I know. Don't pick one. Pick 1 or 2 or 3. Yeah.
So starting out, I went into 6 days, most of which were over 80-mile days.
Yeah.
And my longest ride before I left was 40 miles. And
Mhm.
I'd done that once in October, once in November, and once in December.
Mhm.
And I rode all through Egypt and all through Sudan, just fine. At the end of the day, I wasn't even particularly tired.
Wow.
And that's hot and
Yeah.
sand and desert. And so that felt pretty good. I mean, I got briefly sick one day, so I probably in all that time missed half a day. And so that was really cool. And
Yeah.
then towards the end, I was introduced to gravel in kind of a fairly brutal way, because the gravel rides were nothing like they were at home, and I really should have done more with that, but they were quite brutal. There was a guide with us who said, oh yeah, we would consider this advanced, intermediate, or advanced, and that was my first day.
Yeah.
But towards the end, we got a couple of really reasonable days, and I discovered that I loved gravel. I
Yeah.
loved being out there on my own. So that's kind of my new goal, to do
Good.
more with that. But yeah,
Oh,
and,
fantastic.
and just being able to come in each day, and my body would have been tired. I mean, my overall body, but my legs weren't. I mean, I did my first 200K day ever.
Congratulations.
I've done that now. I never need to do it again, but I did it, and I was not wiped out at the end of it.
That's
So
amazing. Well, can you think about what did you do in the lead up? Because we know you weren't able, like the weather was shit. We weren't really able to do a ton of huge miles or back-to-back days. Like what do you point to in terms of why you felt like you were able to come in and do those first 8 days really well?
strength workouts at home, just consistent workouts.
Yeah.
My nutrition was pretty good before I left.
Mhm.
It was probably not as good while I was there. I mean, it was hit and miss.
Yeah.
My sleep was really good. My sleep was really good even in my tent. So I got sleep down. And yeah, I think mostly the strength that was appropriate for what I needed,
Cool.
which I would not have been able to have pulled up on my own. I would have done all kinds of things, but not the 6,000,001 squats you made me do.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have done that. And I also have to give a shout out to Julie. I probably wasn't using my glutes until I had that fit, which I always, along with everything else I think I can do on my own. The fit wasn't one of them, it turns out. So,
Julie, indeed. Yes.
yes,
Congrats.
it
Oh my.
was amazing. I have a wonderful saddle, and a wonderful fit. And I might have been the only person that didn't have saddle issues on the entire trip. So
Amazing. I mean, just the amount of intellectual, like, logistics putting in before you left was a large load. So it's not just the training and the nutrition and the sleep, but also the logistics. And so, congrats on really nailing down a lot of those along the way. That just takes a lot.
I had a lot of help. I do.
You did, yeah. It wasn't all me. You had a big team in your corner. So, any last thoughts in terms of, yes, the result is you rode through, how many countries is it? 9? Is that what you said? 7? 9 countries? All the way. When did you start and when did you finish?
January 14th, and I finished April 22nd.
Amazing. Yes. And thank you so much for sharing your picture and your write-up, like, in the group, because everyone, I mean, I think that's the most commented thing we had going, really, is that like 100 people commented on just inspiring and exciting, and other people put that on their bucket list because of you. So you're out here inspiring people.
I figured you pretty much can do anything if you make up your mind to it, and you don't have to do it perfectly. You really don't. So
yeah, there is no such thing as perfect, right? There just isn't. Yeah.
I'm learning that.
Yeah. And the other, I wanted to say, just when we first started and we went through the goal setting kind of routine that we all did, and I felt like that was a big aha moment that we had when you were like, oh, I could, really dream big and put this thing on my schedule, and could I actually do this? So I loved, like, being able to be part of that, just kind of switch that turned on, and then, you know, you set your mind to it. And I just want for everyone out there to know, like, there was nothing perfect about, right? We are all humans living in this society, right? The weather was shit. We had a hard time. You know, consistency was really in Margaret's corner. She just did something a little bit almost every day, and she tried not to miss 2 days in a row if she got off track. And that to you, to everyone out there, she went and rode the length of Africa, and, you know, she wasn't able to do more than 40 miles, you know, back to back because of just such terrible weather we had going into it. So y'all, we can do this. I just super appreciative of you coming in, taking time out of your day to talk to everybody here. You've got a lot of fans in this group, Margaret. Everyone wants to know more. I was going to reach out and see if there's more questions down below. Cherie just said, I love that. We can do anything we put our mind to, and you don't have to do it perfectly. 100%, Cherie. Julie's like, thanks for the shout out. I love it. What was the name of the trip, Margaret, and who's the organizer? That was from Cherie.
It's TDA Global Cycling.
Okay.
And it's called Tour d'Afrique.
Tour
of Africa.
Tour of Africa.
Tour d'Afrique. And it's been going 20-something years. So
awesome.
And it's different every year. So I had forgotten about the goal setting.
Oh, yeah.
But that was a big aha for me.
Yeah.
Even just the whole process of setting the goal, and you walked me through what it meant to not be a beginner. Like, I still thought I was a beginner cyclist, and that was really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, okay, you write down everything that you've done and look at it, and then you can't call yourself a beginner anymore. So
yeah, that was it's huge. And now you're definitely not a beginner. Nope. Not even in the realm. Well, what's next for you? I know. What's next for you? And I think, actually, before I say that, I think it's great to have a beginner mindset about anything. Because as soon as you forget to be a beginner, or how hard it is to learn something new, you know, you're kind of off on the wrong foot. So that beginner mindset really helped you.
Yeah.
What's next for you? It doesn't have to be specific, but I know you said gravel as a goal. What do you have in plan or thought to be?
Well, gravel is a goal. Gravel and maybe some self-supported touring. Mm-hmm. And probably South America at some point, but we'll see.
I love that.
Yeah. But now I need a new plan, and I don't have a plan.
Yeah.
And so I'm feeling a little lost here. So.
All right. Well, we'll get together off screen and we'll figure something out for you. Okay. But I think really honing in on when you want the next goal to be. I mean, 2024 isn't that far away.
I know.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much. It's been so fun to chat with you, and we'll catch up soon. And any last parting words of wisdom?
You can do it. I mean, you can, if you really want to do something, you can make it happen.
Awesome.
You really can. Just one little step at a time.
I love it. It kind of goes along with yesterday's masterclass, where I was like, I want everyone to just know that, like, increase your ratio of yeses. So, you know, going from like, I could never do that, to like, yes, I want to try to do this adventure, whether it's riding the Tour d'Afrique or South America or across the United States, you know, or just your local hill, right? Everyone's saying thank you, Cherie, Madeline. Yeah, Maddie, such a motivating talk. I know, I agree. And I just wanted to lastly point out, y'all, we're enrolling for the next group, right? So it's the Cycling Success System Beyond the Pods, still 12 weeks program, similar to where Margaret started off her journey. And if you've got questions, I'll leave the link below. You can learn about the program and apply. I appreciate every single one of you for chatting here. And I appreciate Margaret for sticking through our technical difficulties. It's been so good to chat
about that.
No, okay. It's Facebook, but I'm glad we got it all together. And I look forward to chatting in the next week or so.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Bye, everyone.